Hello. This is my curriculum night presentation. Very excited to be able to speak to parents of my ethics and philosophy students. So first of all, my name is Dr. Schawang. I'm head of school here at Bishop Seabury Academy, which you probably know. But I also used to teach Western civilizations at KU, and that was kind of where my interest in philosophy really began. And so I was excited to be able to take on this class here at Seabury as the one class that I can still teach as a head of school. I should tell you to start with that my class will rotate to an extent during the first couple of months with Mr. Patterson's college advice. He's going to take Tuesdays and Thursdays on most weeks to engage the students. So I'll start by just saying, with students, the first thing I've asked them is what is ethics and what's the difference between ethics and morality? And one of the primary differences for this class is morality, the seniors readily agree, is a system of what is good and bad, of our expectations for right conduct. But ethics is the study of how we determine what is right, how we make better choices. We excavate down under those beliefs to see why do we believe those things, and truly to test those beliefs as well to make sure they are strong and we want to keep them. I want to underscore, it is not my job to tell students what they should believe, the content of their ethical decisions, so much as I want to help them develop a sort of toolkit, an ethical decision-making process, as we call it, that will help them to make more confident and informed decisions moving forward. So I have 4 objectives in class. The first one is simply to give them food for thought. I think learning should be exciting, and there are so many fascinating ideas out there in philosophy and ethical discussions. I want to give them food to chew on, to keep them intellectually engaged. That's number 1. Number 2 is I want to prepare them for college philosophy and humanities courses. Now, not every student in this class is going to be interested in philosophy. In fact, some students are going to sit in my class, quite frankly, and just think, what are you talking about? Okay, hopefully they will engage, and they really have to make that decision to do so. Most of the students, I think, are going to be very excited to discuss this material. But all of these students are going to go on to take college liberal arts courses. And so talking about Locke, Rousseau, Freud, some of the ideas under discussion is going to be very relevant to them. And I want them to be prepared when they go off to college. 3, I want to help them develop an individual ethical decision-making process that they can apply in a range of situations. And number 4, I want to provide insight that's going to help them to become a happy human being. And to me, I don't know that there's anything more important with young people than teaching them how to live a happy life. And happy in the notion of eudaimonia, this Greek notion of a flourishing full life, which is an ethical life, not just one full of superficial pleasures. That means not only teaching them some of the harder issues that we talk about with ethics, like cheating and lying, taking life, suicide, business ethics, environmental ethics, but also how to prepare for important moments of life, how to make better decisions in college, how to make better decisions about having a profession in life and choosing a vocation, about relationships, about anxiety, about a relationship with alcohol, for instance. So this will be ethics kind of writ large in this class about decision making. In the class, I almost always have students coming in who will say, okay, wait till you have this class talk about topics like abortion. It's, they assume it's going to be this out and out loud argument because of differing opinions. And every year, the students find out that that's not going to be the case, because this class is built on the belief that you only come to know a subject with confidence and truly know it when you hear perspectives from every corner, that you want to see and hear every perspective you can. And this goes back to an intellectual named John Stuart Mill, who wrote about liberty and the importance of us having the freedom to speak our minds and to be able to come to a better understanding of what is true, not necessarily simply trying to be right. A couple of notes about this class. There is writing, response paper writing, which is a little different from the English paper students are going to write. It's a little bit more about searching through ideas on the page, a little less about the sort of package of how you put those ideas together. The human essay, students will write 4 human essays for me, 1 at the end of each quarter. And these are kind of creative written exercises that prompt them in, I hope, an enjoyable way to pursue some topic that's going to reveal something about what it means to be human. And then we also will do the occasional reading quiz, which I try to keep interesting so that it's actually probing their ideas and not simply getting them to spot some detail in the reading. The participation is a big deal in class, and I want to say this up front because you may have your students say to you, I just don't feel comfortable speaking in class, or other people get to ideas more quickly than I do, or something along those lines. And I got to tell you, I understand that completely. And because participation is such an important part of this class, and the philosophy of the class is that we want to hear different perspectives, I freely give participation points to students if they mention something to me in the hallway, if they send me an email after class, heck, during class, or participate in some other way on a discussion chat that I will create in Schoology. There are a lot of ways that they can participate. So the argument that they can't find something to say in class really doesn't hold up. They need to make the decision to participate. I'm always happy to speak further with you or to speak with the students about that. I want to also tell you that some of the papers sometimes will go into personal areas, not because I insist upon that. It's just the nature of the topics in this class. But I always tell students that I will respect their privacy. I never require them to reveal something to me that they don't want to reveal. That's totally their decision to speak to me about something private in their papers. And I will always try to respect their their privacy and maintain confidentiality unless I have concerns about their well-being or the well-being of somebody else. I should tell you that you will be involved at least once in this class because around winter break, I will have each student interview his or her parents. And you should be prepared for that. And I want to apologize in advance. Hopefully none of the questions will come off as too personal. You can choose to pass on any questions. I will give you the questions in advance to look at. And I want you to understand that I tell the students that they are not to speak to me about anything that is private in those conversations. But I just want them to have a conversation with you on certain topics before they leave for college. Another topic I'm going to mention very quickly before I finish, and that is what we call Suffix. That's what the students have always called it. I didn't come up with that. But it's basically a sort of sex ed portion of this class. It has to do with sexual ethics, but it's also a very practical and I have to say very frank conversation about sexuality, sexual practices, opinions and beliefs about sexuality. And I want to be very clear that from my perspective, both as teacher and head of school, I believe that sexuality is something that we shouldn't be embarrassed about or that we should speak very, obscurely about. But it belongs in the curriculum, and it is extremely important for seniors before they go off to college and what I sometimes will call the playground of young adulthood, that they understand how to protect themselves, how to be confident that they have opinions about this topic, because they're going to need to be armed with knowledge and to be safe. I should also say this is a class where I do not teach this alone. Traditionally, it's Ms. Zarnicki who joins me so that you have 2 adults in the classroom. Since she has a child for the first time in the class, and I know she's listening to this right now, could be interesting to see if she wants to join me this year or whether I have to have another staff member. It could be interesting whether her son wants her to be in the class, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So I just want to say in closing, I really love teaching this class. I love teaching and I love this subject. I love working with the seniors. I'm looking forward to this year, despite the fact that we're starting in connected learning. I hope to be on campus with them very soon. I know this is a difficult year for students, for seniors with college applications. There are a lot of stress points. And I will tell you, I'm going to do my best to look after them with the help of the rest of the staff. And I just hope you will reach out to me anytime you have questions. I look forward to seeing you in parent-teacher conferences. Thank you, and take care.